All right, so here we go. Well, let's look at what we have here. We have the hippo lizard, or the hippo head on its own separate layer, and we have the lizard as the background. Okay. Well, there's not a whole lot we need to do with the lizard layer until later on. We're going to apply some image adjustments and things like that to it. So we really need to focus on the hippo head right now. So let's go ahead and just play around with this a little bit. What I can do, and if you're using Photoshop CS2, you can actually turn this hippo head into a smart object. By turning it into a smart object, that will make that layer non-destructible. So we can, resize it. If we find that we've resized it too small, we can make it larger. We can rotate it. The image will always retain optimal quality. Okay. Now, if you don't have Photoshop CS2, you're not going to be able to make a smart object. It's okay. It's nothing really, anything big to worry about. Many of us have got along for many years without smart objects. So all you have to do is you can make a copy of the original. I would probably highly recommend it. Come in here and drag the hippo head to the new layer icon and make just a duplicate, or just make a copy of it. That way, if you ever need to go back, or if you screw up the original, then you've got to paste it all over again and get the image back. But by making a copy, if you do mess up the copy, that's okay. You can just come back to this layer. Okay? But because we have smart objects, and I'm using Photoshop CS2, and for those of you that are using CS2, I'm going to make that hippo head layer active, and then what I'll do is just come over here to Layer, and down here to Smart Objects, and then just say I want to group that into a smart object. There we go. And you know it's a smart object because you'll see a little tiny icon, a little file icon down on the bottom right of the thumbnail. And that'll just tell you that this is a smart object, and that if you ever wanted to edit this layer, you can't do it. You can't edit the actual contents on this layer directly. In this image, you have to actually double click on it, and then when you do that, it'll say after you edit, please save the changes, or you're going to need to save the changes for it to affect this image. Let me show you. I'm going to click OK. And as soon as I click OK, you can see the hippo head opens up in a new window. Now this is so we can edit this layer totally separate from our master image, which is over here. And Photoshop saves or creates a temporary file which is called a PSB file, which is it's always there. It's built into the PSD file, and so I don't really know how it all works, but they call it a PSB file that you can see right here. So any changes that I make to this hippo, let's say that I just come in here and hopefully I don't screw this up completely here, but I'm going to come in here and just erase his eyeball like this. Now if I come over here to File, Save, let me go, okay, I'm going to move this out of the way. I'm going to come over here to File, Save, and then go back to this image over here. Give it 1 second, and look at that. It'll update. And so the eyeball on this image, there's no eyeball anymore because I've erased it over on this image right here. Now I could undo on the PSB image right here, get that eyeball back, go to File, Save, and then go back to the project image over here, and now watch, it'll reappear. So we can totally edit the layers in just different files and not edit them directly on the project images that we're working on. So you understand how Smart Objects works. That was kind of like the crash course on Smart Objects, so bear with me here. But we don't need the PSB file open any longer, so I'm going to go ahead and just close that. Great.